everyone, welcome to another round of Chitter Chatter. And today we are going to have a Chitter Chatter with Kavita Bhatnagar on her current book, Love Unlocked. How would it be like if you could unlock love in real life? Don't we all want to do that? Well, this is her second book, and also this is her debut book, Second Chance. So in case you haven't read them, all you have to do is order them online, read them, review them, and spread the word. And she's here, and I'm going to send her a request so that we can get started with our Chitter Chatter. And in the meantime, reading this weekend, I have read this book, and it's such a quick read. Within a day, you're going to be done with it. It's a perfect read. Hi, Kavita. Welcome to Chitter Chatter.
Hi, Shweta. You?
How have you been? How is the book doing? We are seeing all the reviews and all, and best wishes for it. Tell me, how does it feel with your second book, Love Unlocks?
Yeah, it's a great feeling because a lot of activity has been happening since the book released on 1st of May. And I have been, getting good feedback. So that is the most satisfying thing an author can have. And now that's why today when we talk about it, I'm sure I'll be able to unlock all that went into its making and all that I'm feeling now.
So tell our viewers a little about Love Unlock. If you could give them a little snippet before we go further into unlocking what went into it.
Unlocked is about a family. It's about a young girl called Priyanka and her life story. She is a typical contemporary teenager from Mumbai, and she has dreams about finding a comfortable, loving life after her marriage. And she does get married to a handsome boy who is working well from a similar background. And she thinks that now all is set, her life is going to be comfortable. But that was not to be. So then the book comes on to the second thread in the plot, which is about the arranged marriage scenario in our society, that how much the girls have to adjust and are they really able to do that on so many issues which the book illustrates. And then while the conflict happens between the husband and the wife, there is a context in the environment which we can all relate to. So a COVID like virus hits Mumbai, and then the transformation, does it happen, or does the weak family already weakens further? So that is for you to find out, but that is the basic plot, that it's all about transformation and the healing power of love, I would say.
So guys, now you all know what Love Unlocked is. And if you haven't got your copies, then not now. After this Chitter Chatter, go online and purchase your copies and tell Kavita what you loved about it. How did you relate with the characters? And we are all yours. We are all set to hear the reviews. Right, Kavita?
Sure. I would love to get the feedback. And everybody tells me, I would just interject here that it is a very simple story. But then, isn't beauty about simplicity? So I'm sure in this book, everybody who is here would be able to find something to relate to.
So Kavita, how long did it take you to write this book?
It took me nearly a year to come out with the first draft. And after that, the publishing process. So nearly a year and a half. And I would say, that the book changed in its narrative. From the first version to the final version, there were about 3 basic changes in the plot and the story. And because the most challenging part was the character of Priyanka. Because initially it started off as a murder mystery, and it was like the question was that who murdered Priyanka's in-laws? Was it the virus? Was it Priyanka herself deliberately? Then I thought that, people are already having so much of negativity around in this COVID time. And it doesn't really appeal that you put the protagonist in such a negative light. But then she is not the typical, goody goody girl next door either. She is somebody who can be stubborn. She can be a little manipulative. But at the end of the day, we all evolve in life. And that is what happens to Priyanka also.
And how have you evolved from Second Chance to Love Unlocked?
Okay, I think the writing has become far more sharp and focused. Second Chance was literally an outpouring of my own heart, and I did not give much thought to the structure of the story. But here I was very focused right from beginning that the characters are going to evolve like this. The plot is going to be linear in its narrative and it is going to be dealt like this. So the characterization, it has more depth, I think. I was very conscious that today's young audience should be able to relate to Priyanka and Varun both. So I think I was more aware as I wrote Love Unlocked as compared to Second Chance. But then, the firsts are always special. So Second Chance also has a very special place in my heart.
If Love Unlocked had got unlocked for the adaptation, who would play Priyanka and who would play Varun according to you?
Come again, Shweta.
I said if Love Unlocked had got adapted for the screens, who would be in your wish list for Priyanka and Varun?
Oh, I haven't thought about that because I'm still thinking of Second Chance. Who should play Ragini? But I think Kangana would be a apt choice for Priyanka, and Rajkumar Rao will do for Varun.
Wow, that's a great choice. And I think since I've read the book, they would fit perfectly for the way the characters are. They are like literally tailor made for it.
Thank you. But because Priyanka is, as you've read the book, she's a little fiery in her approach. And then she also has an enlightening in the later part of the book. And Kangna would be, very well suited to depict that. And Rajkumar Rao, of course, is so talented, he can do justice to any role. And Varun is a Sida Sada Ladka. So Rajkumar fits that bill also.
So Kavita, when was the first time that you decided that okay, I am a professional, but now I want to be a writer too, and you started writing Second Chance? Like, what was that first moment that triggered and you got into converting yourself as a writer?
Well, the thought that I should write a novel has been with me since long, because in college and school, I always used to write, and not just my own speeches for any function. Even my friends would come and say, Kavita, yaar, please write this speech for me. And I would end up doing that. And then I was always writing poems. So I had brought out 2 books of poems also in Hindi earlier. And then I thought that I want to express more deeper thoughts and give a very relevant message also. So that is more suited to a novel. So it was in 2013 or 14 that I, started giving it a serious thought that I should pen down my thoughts in the form of a novel. And so I was in Bangalore that time. And then I think the weather also there is very conducive to all these creative thoughts. So I started penning it down in 2015. And again, it took me almost a year, but then I left it. I thought it is too sketchy and it is not coming out well, and maybe it's not in me to write and bring out a novel. So for a couple of years, I didn't touch it. And then again in 2018-19, I felt this urge that let me look at it, let me have a glance at it, see if I can improve it, enhance it. And so then by 2019, Second Chance was born. And after that, it's not, you see, Shweta, it's not about that your book becomes a bestseller or not, but it is the inherent joy it gives you and the satisfaction it brings to you when you see that your thoughts have become a reality. So I knew that I was going to write more after that.
So now that you're writing and it's been appreciated and there are some good reviews floating around, what is your favorite reviews that have come to you that are very special right now?
I think most of the reviews which have come to me have said that the story is extremely relatable, number one, because of the adjustment issues that even now all the young girls go through when they get married.
True.
And secondly, I think 1 or 2 reviews which really stood out were because they said that it's a very good message for the girls of this generation that what all can a marriage has in store for you. It is not going to be always a bed of roses. But are you prepared to do that give and take in a relationship? Do you have that tolerance threshold which will enable you to evolve in that relationship? So I think these 2 factors, that one, everybody could relate to the scenario, especially the young audience. And there is a takeaway in the book about how the young girls should cope with these issues. These two feedbacks are very, very important and precious.
You know, holding your copy itself, be it the first one, be it the second one, is a very precious moment because you've literally created it, given birth to that story. And what was your moment when you had your first copy of Second Chance and when you had your first copy of Love Unlocked?
It was an highly emotional moment, especially the first book, Second Chance. I reached home from office, and my publisher Sterling, they had messaged me that we are sending your complimentary copies to your home. And there it was when I reached the packet, and I that time I was new in this area, so I did not make that unboxing video, but I simply opened it, and fortunately my mother was there with me at that moment. And I mean, it was a very overwhelming moment as I presented the book to her. And for Love Unlocked, I mean, I was more prepared. So when Srishti told me that the book is coming my way, and this time my mother and daughter both were there. So my daughter, being the young generation crowd, she said, let's do a video. And I have a very, very nice, bubbly video of the unboxing. So that is again something very different and precious to me.
If there was one thing that you would want to tell us about Love Unlocked, which is which could not be a part of the book, you liked it, but somewhere you couldn't make it a part, what would it be?
The same thing, I think, where I started making it a murder mystery, because that whole idea that can a protagonist, a female protagonist, can be so wily that she would deliberately imbibe that virus so that her in-laws would be wiped away by it. So it is a very negative thought. It's a very, very wicked, wily, black thought. But I mean, maybe I needed more courage to come out with that story, but then I didn't want to. So I wanted it to be a feel good factor in the end. So I think, but that thought has stayed with me. Maybe I will someday come up with another story related to it somehow.
So right now there's a lot of events going on around with the book, and you know, at this point, I would like to ask you, for a writer, it's very important to write the book, but at the same time, in today's time, how important it is to market the book.
Yes, exactly. I always say, that writing is just one part of it. And in today's era, bringing a book out and marketing it is perhaps as important, if not less important, because visibility has to be there. The book has to be known. And there are, so many rankings, so many platforms which are consciously weighing the book and rating it. So you do want your book to reach out to the audience. I mean, if I write a book and nobody reads it, then there is no purpose behind it. So, I mean, marketing is very, very important, and most of the publishers today, they have a marketing strategy in place. So, with Srishti also, my experience has been very, very positive. So, their distribution, their social media, digital marketing, everything is in place, and they keep pushing me that, Kavita, do this and write out a post, do some story. So it's like, it's good, and it's fun also, because you are actually creating something out of that creation. So it gives me more ideas, it gives me feedback, I come to know how my book is being received. So I think marketing is definitely very important.
So before I go on our last segment of Chitter Chatter, do you have your copy around so that we can have a selfie moment with the book?
Yes, I kept it ready with me.
There we go. Yes, we've had a moment. And now to my last segment of Chitter Chatter. I'm going to ask you some questions, and the first thing that comes to your mind, and really quick.
Okay.
Favorite,
No, I lost you.
favorite time to read.
Night before sleeping.
Favorite time to write.
In the morning when I get up.
Favorite food to binge on when you're reading, and favorite food to binge on when you're writing.
Namkeen.
Both the times.
Both the times. Constant.
Favorite authors.
Okay, Thomas Hardy, Jhumpa Lahiri, and Jeffrey Archer.
If you had to go back in time and meet one author who's no more, who would it be?
Thomas Hardy.
What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say love unlocked?
Simple.
Second chance.
Emotional.
Kavita as a writer.
Breezy.
Chitter chatter with Shweta Roira. Are you there? We've kind of lost you. You've
No,
frozen.
I'm there. Am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're audible. Chitter chatter with Shweta Roira.
Fun.
What is this one book that you can read over and over again besides the books you've written?
It's The Bridge Across Forever by Richard Bach. Most
A
sentimental.
book that was written and is adapted, and you like the adaptation version as well as the book.
5 point someone.
If there's this one book that is not yet adapted, and if given a chance, you would pitch it for adaptation besides your books.
Beside my books is not fair.
No, because God willing, may your both books get adapted. I have read Love Unlocked, and it is definitely a book that should get adapted because it's so much fun and there's so much to do. And we've already discussed that the wishing list is Kangana and Rajkumar Rao. So, if besides that you had read a particular book that you would like it to get adapted, which one would it be?
I think Not a Penny More, Not a Penny Less by Jeffrey Archer.
If there is a particular book, you're reading, do you leave it or do you complete it even if you get bored midway?
No, I leave it if I get bored.
Standalone or series?
Standalone.
If there is a particular thing that you read and you have a constant chattering going on in your mind, being a writer too, what do? Do you draft in a mail to the author or you just have your monologue going side by side?
No, I do drop a mail to the author.
What is this one thing that you feel you would want to go and change in the book? Is there anything in Love Unlocked or Second Chance that you feel if now given time you would want to change it?
Love Unlocked, I think I would bring out the transformation in other characters also a bit more. I think I could have done that.
What is the favorite memory of yours that was there imprinted in your mind and heart while you were writing Love Unlocked?
My college teacher, my lecturer in English, whenever she would give us the answer copies from an exam, she would call me, and every time she would say the same thing: Kavita, don't give up writing. And that stays with me.
When you wrote your first thing, be it poem, be it prose as a kid, or at any point in life, and you made people hear it. As children, we either write poems, we recite essays, or whatever. What is that first memory that comes to your mind?
I wrote a poem after my mother scolded me. It was in class 12th, I think. And I showed it to her only. And she said that it's very nice. You have expressed it very well. But what was the need to feel so much anguish?
The most criticized, or rather, the criticism you faced in the beginning as a writer?
It came with second chance because young girls came up to me and said that why is she so keen to remarry? She can live her life on her own, and why she's really desperate to marry. So that sort of hit me.
What is it about you and writing? If you had to say it in one sentence, what is writing for you?
I always say this: it is sadhana to me.
For all the newbies out there who want to write, have stories, but have not been able to be disciplined or maybe not start, what do you want to tell them?
Never give up. I mean, write as if this is something also I picked up. Write as if you are drunk. Don't bother about the structure, the editing, the grammar, and then edit when you are at the most sane. So just go with the flow, write, don't give up. If you cannot publish at one go, but don't give up.
And lastly, please tell our viewers something about why they should buy Love Unlocked.
Oh, well, today I have just received a picture of my own idol, Anil Kapoor, holding the book. So I am most glad. And that is one of the reasons if he can read it, so can you. But by and by, I think it is something which will give you positivity, which will give you an understanding about the issues women face. And to the women, to the young girls, it will give an understanding about how to cope with it, about how not to give up in relationships, but rather evolve in them.
So, guys, on this note, we end our chitter chatter. But what you have to do, you know it. You just have to go online, buy your copies, and repeating that you need to read it. And let us know what you liked about Love Unlocked. What did you unlock in your personal life from this story? And enjoy and wish you all a very happy reading. And congratulations, you've got one more picture with a favorite out there with Love Unlocked. So, all the best wishes to you too, Kavita, and keep the words flowing.
Thank you so much, Shweta. It was real fun, and I hope everybody reads Love Unlocked and gives me a feedback. I would truly cherish it.
Happy Sunday.